ways of saving face. A common one that I do almost all the time is by not looking. Like if somebody has their pants falling down, I will maybe, but you know, I'll visibly turn my head away. Any number of things. I'm trying to think of a disability specific one. The NDIA doesn't really offer us a lot of face-saving devices unless it's to have someone else speak for me. That one they're good at. I mean, I require it either way, but it is frustrating the degree to which, I mean, I would like to be heard. At last plan review, I did read a whole bunch of stuff into the record, so to speak, and that was not listened to in that room. You know, I know really it got so bad, but I was like, how am I going to prove that she wasn't listening? But I was observing her. I was trying to talk to her. But here's the thing. What I said was, I am at an extremely high risk of a breakdown in supports if you interrupt what I have going on right now. She did that. Then I put through a review and planning meetings and going into the office. Is the first time I was there, I had a planner who was very nice, who was protecting me from a number of different, what I now know to be providers, who are misleading me a bit. I didn't understand how it all worked. There was no base. I wasn't asking for anything. I didn't know. I was asking for help. I was telling her who I was. And she did say, she was like, oh, yeah, this is gonna be tough, but you just need to find like the right people, because yeah. And I didn't understand what she was talking about, but I do now. I'm doubly vulnerable. I can do a lot of things and I can't do a lot of things, and both are true, and I want to try to be able to make the most of the things I can do. And the NDIA punishes me for it, and I want to be supported for the things I can't do so I can do the things that I would like to do. The second meeting was one that I had started to come, okay, a lot of things had happened going up to that meeting. I was starting to figure out the whole scheme, because at one point I had two advocates, one to deal with the provider and one to deal with the NDIA and the review. I don't want to go into too much detail. Suffice it to say that the provider that I was with at the time had misled me, and I ended up without support around Christmas. Like, I have PTSD around it now, and it was bad. I was like, you have a duty of care. And they were all laughing on the phone, like they could tell us I was on speakerphone. I was like sort of crying when I said it. Yeah. Anyway, I had worked out my estimated support budget based on what I needed to do. I actually worked it out in 3 different models, and they were about, like, I think about 5% off, which is really cool to me. I'm just like, that's interesting, because like I did it totally different ways. I did one like individual tasks that I would likely go through throughout the day, and then like average those, and then the other one I blocked out and estimated how much time I spent on each task. And then what was the other one? I think I presented it from a more like project oriented kind of view. Like, yeah, I'm not sure. Well, anyway, I had graphs, I had spreadsheets, and the guy was like, because apparently he wasn't anticipating anything like that because of what they had been doing. I'm pretty sure he came in there to like shut it down, because I think they thought they were faking so that I could have more, so they could have more. I don't think they realized I actually like needed it. So anyway, so he challenged my funding. So he challenged my access, but did roll it over for like a minute that I could do that. That was interesting. I didn't have very much in the way of paperwork that was supportive of my disability because I was really avoidant, and I continue to be avoidant of being judged about my disability. And it's not simple avoidance. I have a lot of experience. I have a doctor's note. I do though. It's bad for me. But it also, there's the other side. And the other side is the side of compliance, right? That's all we're really talking about. It's like that I have to go find and establish a rapport, an analytical rapport with a number of my existing and new specialists so as to ensure that my needs are fully documented. I did it, but it was not really very good for me at all. What that put me through, you can call me a suck or whatever. It's just the truth though, that when it's for me to write about my impairments or my disability as if like, so I can present it to you for a scrutiny, made me like start to seize and to like, now you could see I'm having trouble talking about it. But I can present my shit for a scrutiny when it's what I'm proud of or like what I'm trying to do. So I tried that. So no wait, the third one was we did a review of a reviewable decision on that one, but I don't think it went yet. I think it was a change of circumstances. Yeah, that's right. So then I met with the next planner. She was this young woman with an interpreter. She was deaf, I think, and non-speaking. And so the lady who was interpreting for her was a real fucking crow. And so helped me out there for when we had a break. She's like, stop listening to her and start looking at the planner. It's a lot different. And I was like, that was brilliant, because yeah, I did. And that's when, yeah, I started having a very decent conversation with her, and that plan went well. And then the next plan was, what was it? Yeah, the one that I just discussed earlier. My last planning meeting was extremely traumatic. I had a rollover that was granted on the basis of how not okay I was about everything. I don't know that it's going to change. So it's funny that I'm advocating for more thorough and comprehensive planning meetings, isn't it? Because that's the worry. That's like, you know, like when a lawyer is in was that it? Disclosure. When somebody has something that they don't want you to see, it's like they're not going to just point it to you instead of here's the thing that you're looking for. What they do is they stack it inside a lot of things so that it potentially fatigue. We can't have that. We can't have a planning meeting where we still have the adversarial nature and are requiring more from us. That absolutely can't happen. So that brings me back to, what should a planning meeting look like? Saving face needs to come first, I think, because we know that we are going to be talking about what is difficult for people. So we need to have established and maintain and continue to establish and grow a structure of consent, a structure of consensual, you know. And like if somebody was like, oh, I don't like that anymore, like I don't like how that's put, like, okay, well, how would you put it? Put it that way. See, there's like a humanity already forming, and it's not, it's so important to do this, and yet it seems like every time I bring it up, it's like people don't believe that I could even think that that would be possible. That, I mean, we've already established, see, let's make sure we understand this. We've already established access. We've gone through the freaking thing where, yep, permanent disabled, we're not going to make you do it anymore. Not that. Not the questioning whether you can even have your basic supports according to what we have agreed upon before and what you've told us. Like, if they haven't changed, or if they've, you know, if they've lowered, then let's say, hey, like, I noticed you didn't use much. What happened there? Like, oh, the market's been really bad. No, it's been tough. That's why I was struggling with those goals. See, that wouldn't be a grounds to take it. I'm just talking about the part where we make sure that the other person is doing all right. I do not know what this looks like, and here's the only part where you could possibly try to challenge me. I'm just kidding. But no, but really the structure for how people should be supported in their expenditure of their funding. I don't have all the answers there. It's not good enough at all in any of the ways now, except for the part where the under the radar, the stuff that isn't being seen by the NDIA or the government, is like the self-managers who are doing a lot. And I would rather that we shared information more. That I think a lot of the times that I see people asking questions, that they would be benefited by that. I'm sorry. I think that every plan should be self-managed, since it's individualized. If there's other parts of funding that needs to be not individualized, like for example part of the share house and funding, or like part of programs or whatever, that's different. I think that the person who is getting individualized funding must agree